Welcome, viewers, to a journey unlocking the darkest and most hidden chapters of our history. At the dark dawn of Friday the 13th, a ruthless secret order wiped out all pure faith. They were once the supreme, undefeated knights, holding the absolute greatest wealth and power. But in just one single night, they were stripped of all honor, thrown into a dreadful dungeon. What truly caused Europe's most sacred brotherhood to instantly fall to a tyrant's greed? October 13th, 1307. A chilling silence blankets the sleeping streets of Paris. Suddenly, royal guards shatter the heavy wooden doors, forcefully storming the sacred Templar temple. The proud warriors are forcefully dragged from their warm beds, given absolutely no chance to fight. Their pure white cloaks, adorned with the iconic red cross, are aggressively torn from their strong bodies. Grand Master Jacques de Molay, an old and respected leader, is shackled tightly in heavy iron. They are thrown into the damp, lightless Parisian dungeons, where rats scurry across the freezing stone. Here, the king's ruthless inquisitors prepare their terrible, dread-filled instruments of pure agony. King Philip IV stands hidden in the dark, watching the suffering with a cold, triumphant smile. The king demands confessions of unbelievable crimes, spitting on the cross and worshipping demons. According to historical records, the relentless torment broke even the strongest, most resilient men. Bodies shatter, limbs are stretched to the absolute limit, echoing horrific screams in the dark night. They are forced to admit to completely fabricated sins to end the unbearable physical pain. The great Jacques de Molay, heavily chained and broken, can only pray silently in his dark, cold cell. How did the mighty defenders of the Holy Land find themselves rotting in a filthy French prison? To truly understand this tragedy, we must turn back the clock by 200 extraordinary years. The year is 1119, a time when religious fervor drives thousands toward the sandy Holy Land. But the dusty desert roads to Jerusalem are incredibly dangerous, crawling with ruthless bandits. Pilgrims face tragedy and ruin on their spiritual journey, desperately needing strong, armed protection. 9 poor, brave knights step forward, taking sacred vows to protect the vulnerable Christian travelers. They call themselves the poor soldiers of Christ, swearing absolute poverty, obedience, and true faith. Initially, they are so impoverished that their official seal shows 2 men riding a single war horse. However, their legendary bravery quickly captures the attention of the highest church authorities. In 1139, Pope Innocent II issues a decree granting them unprecedented power. The knights are now exempt from all local laws and taxes, answering only to the Supreme Pope himself. This incredible privilege transforms the humble brotherhood into an unstoppable military juggernaut. Clad in shining chainmail and their iconic white cloaks, they become the elite shock troops of the Crusades. They fearlessly charge into battle, willing to fall as glorious martyrs rather than ever surrender. Their fierce discipline and terrifying battle cries make them the absolute masters of the desert warfare. Muslim records describe them as the most formidable and fanatical warriors on the blazing battlefield. But wars require massive funding, leading the Templars to create a brilliant, new financial system. A noble traveling to Jerusalem can securely deposit his heavy gold at a local Templar house. In return, he receives an encrypted parchment note, a very early form of the modern banking check. Upon arriving, He simply presents the sealed letter to withdraw his funds safely and easily without fear. This highly innovative banking network quickly makes the Templars the most trusted financial institution. European kings and wealthy nobles blindly trust the Holy Order with their vast, glittering royal fortunes. The once poor knights soon own sprawling estates, massive stone castles, and a huge fleet of armed trading ships. They effectively become the very first multinational banking corporation in the history of the world. Yet, as their wealth explodes, their primary military purpose slowly begins to crumble into the sand. The Muslim armies, united under brilliant commanders, gradually reclaim the contested territories. In 1291, the crucial city of Acre falls, marking the final tragic end of the Crusades. Driven entirely out of the Middle East, the Templars lose their sacred homeland and their glorious mission. They retreat to their luxurious estates in France, living like wealthy princes rather than humble monks. Their immense wealth and unchecked power create deep jealousy and bitter resentment among the French nobles. King Philip IV of France is an ambitious monarch drowning in a massive ocean of royal debt. He has fought expensive, devastating wars against England and deeply devalued his nation's currency. The king actually owes a staggering amount of silver to the Templars, his primary financial backers. Facing bankruptcy, Philip looks greedily at the overflowing Templar treasuries right in his backyard. He secretly plots to eliminate his massive debts by entirely destroying the Holy Order from within. However, he cannot simply attack them, as they are protected by the supreme power of the Roman Pope. Fortunately for the wicked king, the papacy is currently experiencing a period of severe weakness. Pope Clement V is a timid, easily controlled French bishop, heavily influenced by King Philip. Philip launches a vicious propaganda campaign, spreading malicious, dark rumors about the Templar practices. He uses disgraced former knights to testify that the secret initiation rituals involve deep blasphemy. Whispers circulate that the knights worship a mysterious, demonic idol known to the world as Baphomet. If you were a deeply indebted king, would you destroy a sacred institution just to save your crown? Philip meticulously prepares his devastating strike, sending sealed secret orders to all of his commanders. The chilling instruction is absolute. Open the royal seals only on the morning of October 13th. This highly coordinated police action is completely unprecedented in medieval European history. And so, we return to that fateful Friday, the day the proud Templar legacy is violently shattered. In the dark dungeons, excruciating pain forces the desperate knights to falsely confess to any crime. Even Grand Master Jacques de Molay, broken by endless torment, admits to some of the horrific charges. The weak Pope Clement, terrified of the French king's military power, officially suppresses the Holy Order. He issues a cowardly papal bull, effectively dissolving the Templars and seizing their lands everywhere. The king quickly confiscates their vast treasures, erasing his massive debts in one single ruthless stroke. But Philip's ruthless cruelty does not stop there. He demands the ultimate punishment for the key leaders. Those who bravely recant their forced confessions are declared relapsed heretics and cast into the blazing flames. 54 loyal Templars meet their doom in a single day, screaming their pure innocence to the silent heavens. The ultimate climax of this historical tragedy arrives in the freezing cold of March, 1314. Jacques de Molay, after 7 long years of agonizing imprisonment, is brought out for final judgment. Standing before a large crowd in Paris, he completely retracts his confession with a loud, booming voice. He declares that the order is completely innocent and that he only lied to stop the brutal torment. Furious at this public defiance, King Philip orders the Grand Master to perish in the flames that evening. As the hot flames begin to lick his weary body, Mole stares directly at the royal palace balcony. Through the choking black smoke, he delivers a terrifying historical curse that will echo through the ages. He fiercely summons Pope Clement and King Philip to meet him before the judgment seat of God within a year. The Grand Master perishes in the intense, roaring fire, taking the deepest secrets of the order with him. Incredibly, exactly as the dying man predicted, the chilling curse seems to manifest into a dark reality. Just 1 month later, Pope Clement dies suddenly of a devastating, relentless affliction, shocking the Church. And 8 months after the execution, the seemingly untouchable King Philip suffers a fatal stroke. The sudden, mysterious deaths of the two powerful conspirators solidify the legend of the Templar curse. But what happened to the legendary Templar treasure that King Philip had so desperately desired to steal? Records show that when Philip's men raided the Paris temple, the grand treasury was surprisingly empty. Rumors suggest a secret fleet of Templar ships escaped from the port of La Rochelle under the dark of night. Some believe they sailed to Scotland, where they aided Robert the Bruce in his fierce war for independence. Others claim they crossed the Atlantic, burying their sacred artifacts in the mysterious lands of America. The sudden disappearance of their immense wealth remains one of history's most fascinating, unsolved mysteries. The fall of the Knights Templar perfectly illustrates the devastating, absolute, corrupting nature of raw power. A holy brotherhood, originally born from poverty and pure devotion, was ultimately destroyed by royal greed. King Philip's actions demonstrated that even the most sacred institutions could be crushed by a ruthless state. The tragic Friday the 13th became a permanent symbol of betrayal, deeply ingrained in Western culture. Though the order was dissolved, the mythical legacy of the Templars continues to completely captivate the world. Their pioneering banking methods laid the essential groundwork for modern European economic financial systems. The spirit of the proud, fearless Knight Crusader remains forever embedded in our collective human memory. As the flames of the pyre faded into ash, the Templars transitioned from mortal men into immortal legends. They stand as a haunting reminder that in the brutal Game of Thrones, faith is often sacrificed for gold. The shadow of the Knights Templar stretched far beyond their fiery, tragic destruction in Paris. For centuries, scholars have fiercely debated the truth of their alleged heretical crimes. Were they truly guilty of the dark, demonic worship, or merely victims of a greedy king? Modern Vatican documents secretly discovered in 2001 reveal a hidden truth. The Chinon parchment proves that Pope Clement actually absolved the Templars of all heresy. The document shows the Pope recognized the confessions were forced out of innocent men through dark torment. Yet, terrified of King Philip's overwhelming military might, the weak Pope kept this truth hidden. He chose to sacrifice the Holy Brotherhood to save the fragile power of the Roman Church. This cowardly act of political survival condemned hundreds of innocent knights to face a tragic, bitter end. What would you do if forced to choose between your sacred morals and your own physical survival? Despite the official dissolution, the massive Templar infrastructure could not vanish. Their sprawling network of fortified castles across Europe, fell into rival noble hands. The Knights Hospitaller, their longtime rivals, absorbed much of the seized wealthy Templar estates. But the vast Templar treasury of gold and silver coins was never officially recovered. Did King Philip manage to secretly melt down the stolen gold to pay off his massive debts? Or did a clever group of surviving knights successfully smuggle the wealth out of France? Legends speak of 18 heavily armed Templar galleys slipping away under the darkness. This mysterious phantom fleet supposedly sailed far into the treacherous Atlantic Sea. Some fascinating theories suggest they safely reached the rocky, isolated shores of Scotland. In Scotland, they allegedly fought alongside courageous Scottish rebels against the English king. The mysterious Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland is rumoured to contain hidden Templar symbols. Intricate stone carvings depict strange plants that only existed in the undiscovered West. Could these brave, fleeing knights have actually crossed the vast ocean before Christopher Columbus? Other compelling legends connect the surviving Templars to the mysterious Freemasons. The secretive Masonic rituals closely mirror the guarded, ancient traditions of the Knights. While these remain unproven theories, they highlight the enduring mystique of the Brotherhood. Beyond the myths, the true, undeniable legacy of the Templars lies within modern banking. They completely revolutionized medieval economics by introducing secure credit. Their highly efficient financial systems paved the way for the explosive Renaissance era. Without their brilliant economic innovations, global trade would have been severely delayed. They effectively transformed the concept of wealth from physical gold into trusted paper credit. Yet this incredibly advanced financial power ultimately became the primary weapon. King Philip realized that whoever controls the absolute flow of money controls the kingdom. He ruthlessly destroyed the first multinational corporation to ensure his own supreme rule. The agonizing screams from the Parisian pyres served as a terrifying warning to all bankers. Never become so wealthy that you threaten the power of a desperate and very greedy king. The tragic Friday the 13th forever scarred the collective consciousness of all of Europe. It birthed a dark legend that Friday the 13th is a cursed day of terror and pure bad luck. The story of Jacques de Molay teaches us a timeless lesson about absolute dark betrayal. He bravely faced the roaring flames rather than officially confirm a cowardly royal lie. His sacrifice cements the Templars as heroic martyrs of a very dark, corrupted system. Today, the famous Red Cross on a pure white cloak still evokes clear images of unmatched bravery. From holy knights to early bankers, their evolution is a powerful human testament. Their sudden destruction remains a chilling historical example of ruthless persecution. The blood of the fallen knights still whispers from the cold, dark stones of the ancient French prisons. They remind us that true faith and courage can never be fully destroyed by burning fire or iron. And in Europe, a mighty empire proved to be a fragile illusion waiting to shatter. The roaring fire that consumed the Holy Knights is brutal proof that raw greed has destroying power. Was the king's ruthless choice pure, terrifying evil, or a vital sacrifice? Comment your thoughts right now. Do not forget to like, share this amazing video, and subscribe to explore more dark history.